Today we dive into the Runequest starter set, specifically Book 3, Solo Quest. Is this going to organically teach us how to play the game? Because I'll be honest, these rules are a lot. For a newcomer, anyways. Let's find out. Welcome back to the channel. I am Sacred, and this is the Sacred Art of Gaming, where we enjoy talking about tabletop gaming, and sometimes we like to do a little solo quest, like today. Now, I just want I want to be straight up with you and let you know that I don't have any basic role-playing experience actually playing it. So this is actually my first attempt at the basic role-playing system. I feel like this adventure will hopefully help. I have gone through the rule book, which is book 1, and I've gone through some of book 2, which is the setting of Glorantha. I haven't gone page to page, but I kind of try to hit the high notes and see stuff that felt like might be worth knowing. So let's start with an intro to our character, which is going to be Vasana. She has a Bison as well. She's a heavy cavalry woman, female, age 21. And she's a heavy cavalry woman of the Elnadori clan of the Kalimar tribe. I am Vasana, the daughter of Farnan, a hero of Starbrow's rebel lion, slain and devoured by the Crimson Bat. In my war of revenge against the Lunar Empire, I gained the attention of Argrath at the Battle of Penelford. I was sorely wounded at the Second Battle of Moonbroth, granting me this terrible scar across on the left half of my face. I returned to my mother's farm to recover, and now I am ready for adventure. My friends know me for a fearsome bison rider, a skilled hand with a sword, and a devout worshipper of Orlanth adventurous. My honor is my greatest strength. She's a small, athletic woman. She's a natural-born leader, high charisma, and she has strong passions to include a hate for the Lunar Empire, a devotion to Orlanth, and she's got the Death Rune and the Air Rune as her high ones there. So she's got a warrior aesthetic, allows her to ignore pain and pleasure. Her Air Rune makes her passionate, proud, and violent. And then she also has her sweet lance attack on her when she's on her Bison, which this is probably her right here. All right, let's get started into the solo quest. Exciting stuff. I did already read through this stuff here. All the background. She is above all else a fierce warrior. Yep. All right, cool. I think it's maybe worth saying that if you don't want solo quest spoiled for you, if you're going to play this is where I'm going to start playing it. So there will be spoilers. So back out now. You have until the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's get started in Solo Quest. So I assume we will start with 1 here. You are Vasana, daughter of Farnan. Until recently, you have lived under the boot of the Lunar Empire. Their cruel occupation of Sartar, your homeland, painted your soul throughout your youth. From the relative safety of your mother's farm, you watched as Sartar suffered under lunar occupation. Every year, your father would venture out into the world to support the cause of rebellion. Each year, he would return and regale you with stories of his adventures. One year, when you were on the cusp of adulthood, your father did not return. He was devoured by the Crimson Bat, a terrifying monster that the Lunar Empire uses to brutally control its subject nations. Crimson Bat annihilated your father's soul. He will never know the peace of the afterlife. Such a barbarous act ignited a furious hatred within you. You left your mother's farm and lent your strength to the cause of Sartarite rebellion against the foul Lunar Empire. You have fought for this cause throughout your entire adult life. Today you are trudging through the shallows of the Dangerford, a strategic crossing along the creek. Danger Isle, the creek's only landmass, rises from the water like a spiked tortoise shell before you. Every inch of the island is covered with tents, banners, and warriors, all sworn to Kalir Starbrow, leader of the Sartarite rebellion. Every battle you fought has been for her and her cause, just like your father before you. Whew, this is a lot of reading, but I feel like we need to read it. The sun has yet to rise and the wind is cold. Heavy gray clouds pollute the sky, and the echoing ululations of the priests of Ingazi, the sky river titan, fill your ears. The water at your feet stirs in response to their channeled magic, slowly rising like clay to a potter's hand. This magic will deepen the ford and force the lunar infantry to march in knee-high water when they attack. As you walk towards Danger Isle, you cast your eyes across the assembly of tents. You recognize tribal markings from a dozen Dragon Pass clans, but there are also banners from Praxian riders, collections of mercenaries from Esrolia, and a set of ramshackle reed huts made by the ducks of the upland marsh. Each of them knows the importance of this critical passage through the creek. Each one of them will fight to the death to defend it. With such a host of warriors assemble, how can the Lunar Empire possibly think they can win? You finish your approach to the island and walk through the tents towards the opposite bank. You see the hordes of tents looming on the lunar side, and your heart sinks. The Lunars expect the Sartarites to bring an army, and they've done the same. You raise one hand to shelter your eyes from the surrounding firelight and scan the opposite bank to take the measure of your enemy. So to determine if you can spot anything in the shadowy pre-dawn, you must make a roll against your scan skill, which is 50%. Just gonna verify that just to make sure I understand. Scan 50%. Okay, this is our first roll. We got the fancy dice out. Let's go, baby. Clickety-clack. 77. That is, we're trying to roll under, so that is actually a fail. If you rolled higher, you failed the roll. There are further degrees of success and failure, but unless specific outcomes are called for in the passage, only success or failure are relevant for this scenario. Thank you. If you pass the scan, go to 2. If you failed, go to 3. All right, so this is where we're gonna go to a choose your own adventure style. We're gonna go to 3 here. This is reasonable. The Lunar Empire's forces clog the shores, their tents spaced in even columns, but you can make out little else. The sun has not yet risen, and the shadows cling to the camp like ink. The looming shadow of their tents is a sinister threat you can't wholly evaluate, but you know will be deadly. Go to 4. The Lunars may have more soldiers and better organization, but you fight with the fury of the gods. Orlanth, the Storm Lord, whistles the names of your champions as he skips along the water. And Humak, the god of death, sits beside every Sartarite warrior as they whet their blades and don their armor. You walk between your companions, dodging campfires and weaving through rows of cavalry bison. In a few short hours, you will all be tested. Every Sartarite will have a role to play, yourself included. As a member of the cavalry, you will join the Sartarite archers in skirmish as the lunar hoplites advance. When they reach the deepest part of the ford, you will fall back to your bison. Ready your lance and shield and charge the exposed lunar flanks amidst a flurry of arrows and magic from both sides. One misstep and the heavily armored lunar infantry will reach the Sartarite ranks, devastating your forces. You cannot allow this to happen. You are shaken free from contemplation by the first rays of the rising sun. The soldiers around you shift nervously. When the sun is free of the land, the battle will begin. But for now, the fog lingers. War waits patiently. You have a short time before dawn fully breaks, and you will not rest. Instead, you look to the camp and prepare for battle. All right, so the thing that we said cannot happen, one misstep, the heavily armored lunar infantry will reach the Sartarite ranks, devastating your forces. So we don't want that to happen. So now here are some things that we can do. And they kind of break it down. You can pay your respects to your ancestors and the gods, meet with Kalir Starbrow, the Sartarite leader, tend to your bison mount, ford the river and scout the enemy camp, or head to the battlefield early and ready yourself. Okay, so There's actually a lot of pre-made options here, which I do like. It is, of course, on rails. This is very choose-your-adventure-like. We have a short time before dawn fully breaks, and you will not rest. Instead, you look to the camp and prepare for battle. I think I'm gonna pay my respects to the ancestors and the gods, which is the top option here. So that is page 33. Or not page 33, it is option 33. So we go to 33. In Glorantha, the gods are all important. There is a vast pantheon of beings that make up the world, and every living creature within it is connected to them. They are the source of all strength and weakness in Glorantha. They both hold the world together and create all the conflict within it. Some gods are worshipped as the patrons of tribes and clans. Others are personal deities and guardian spirits. Although most people are dedicated to a single deity, all the gods are acknowledged and worshipped when appropriate. You, Vasana, worship Orlanth, the storm god. More specifically, you are devoted to the female aspect of Orlanth called Vinga. When Orlanth takes the form of Vinga, she embodies his trademark courage, strength, heroism, and a strong feminine aspect. You and many others find Vinga as the form of Orlanth most deserving of your worship. Glorantha is a mythological setting, and the worship and identity of the various gods in its defining aspect. Vasana worships Vinga, but you and your adventures through Glorantha will create your own adventures with their own relationships. Okay, yes, great. Vinga desires your worship. She may offer you protection in battle if you pray to her. You head towards the makeshift temples on the edge of the island. Go to 34. Yes, I will. You make your way towards the edge of Danger Isle and join the procession of worshippers. 2 large shrines have been set up, one to Orlanth and one to Humacht. Each is decorated with special fetishes and sacred tokens. Crowds of kneeling supplicants reach forward towards each shrine, placing small fragments of cloth or jewelry upon them. Under their breath, they mutter the names of their ancestors. Your mind drifts to your father Farnon. His spirit is gone, devoured by the crimson bat, but his name and memory remain. If you can stand against the Lunar Empire this day, then you will have honored the name of your father and his memory. 35. As you take the sight of the assembled worshippers, you are jostled to one side by an enormous Praxian storm bull cultist. He pushes through the crowd towards the water of the creek, beside the shrines, and begins to splash it across the body ritualistically. Several other worshippers surround him, cleaning their bodies as a mark of respect. You start to move before you are jostled sideways again. This place is packed with people vying for a chance to give worship. You step forward and gaze at the shrines. You could visit the shrine of Orlanth, your patron god, to pray for strength, or you could visit the shrine of Hermach, the god of death, for purpose and guidance on the battlefield. You are only a lay member of the Hermach's cult, though. In Gloranthan worship, it is not uncommon to praise multiple gods, so as long as the beings themselves are aligned. Given the nature of the day to come, perhaps Hermach would be a more fitting recipient of your praise. Whether or not you ultimately decide to offer worship to the gods today, you can always go to bathe in the waters of the creek and honor your ancestors in that fashion. I am going to visit the shrine of Hermach. Yeah, that is what I will do. I'm just gonna stick with my initial thought. Really cool art. That was 40, correct? Yes, 40. You make your way towards the shrine of Hermach. It is much quieter here. The worshippers seem more restrained than those of Orlanth. Most of them sit in quiet contemplation with their eyes closed. The shrine itself is a simple affair. A sword has been placed into the ground, surrounded by a sweet-smelling incense that overwhelms the senses. A priest pours blood on the sword from a clay bowl. Approaching the shrine of Hermach is like stepping into a bubble. It is as if the sound from the rest of the camp grows quieter upon your approach. Hermach is the god of death and war. The worshippers here have an aura of quiet deadliness. This scared the shit out of me. I'm in the zone. Several Hermach's sword priests, the most respected worshippers, sit in silence among the shrine itself. Their weapons are close at hand. These fearsome warriors make up the unshakable backbone of a strong Sartorite army. Hamacht is the war god and the master of the death rune. His followers believe that divinity and purity can be found in the denial of the physical world and the senses, and the focus on duty and responsibility. You are only a lay member of Hamacht, but you still respect his example. Yeah, of course, we're here, so yeah, we're going to offer praise to Hamacht. You approach the shrine quietly and sit alongside the other worshippers. Close your eyes and begin to recite a set of ancient prayers in your mind. Around you, some worshippers are practicing slow, ritual dances. Others chant the words to sacred hymns. Alright, now we got a little flavor text, I suppose. Worship can be done through prayer, singing, dancing, meditation, the ritualistic burning of incense, and other practices unique to each individual god. An initiate would make a worship Hamacht roll with, but Vasana is only a lay member and does not have this skill. She may attempt to dance, sacrifice something important, or sacrifice magic points. However, Vasana has nothing on hand to sacrifice and needs her magic points for the upcoming battle. Still though, she could use a blessing. If you choose to sacrifice one or more of Vasana's magical points, mark them off her sheet and go to 42. If you choose not to, 43. I mean, I was gonna dance. I guess dancing is off the table. We'll try and stick to this. Yeah, we will do that. We will do that thing. So they are magic points, luckily, and not rune points. So that is good. So I suppose we'll just cross off 14. 42. You continue your prayers. You whisper them again and again under your breath until all of the world around you fades away. In the silence, you continue to repeat them. You find blissful peace in the quiet when at last you feel sensation return and your mind reawakens. You feel a pang of mild regret. The camp is chaotic around you. Nothing has changed, but you feel like for the first time, you are truly noticing the frantic energy of so many people so closely packed together. The sights, sounds, and smells are overwhelming. You force yourself to relax and let the pleasant emptiness you found insulate you from the noise. You stand and nod at the other worshippers and step away. You can feel the presence of Hamacht observing you as you step away. Increase the BRT by +5. BRT. I think I vaguely remember this is something to do with like your battle readiness something. I think it's like an overall, like, unless I'm mixing it up with something else, I think that's like if you were to do like a strategic high-level role over your involvement in a big battle. So we need to remember that. But I don't know where the hell is BRT? I don't think it's on here. So hopefully we just remember, because to say I'm already thrown off, that I feel like that sticks with me. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I'm sure if you guys know, point it out in the comments. All right, we're going to 47. This is neat, but this is definitely more, this is not how Runequest is normally played, which, I mean, to be expected, but this is definitely more choose your own adventure than I was expecting. So yeah, 47. I guess I thought I'd be doing more rolls, and maybe if I chose a different path, I would be. You turn away from the shrine and gaze out across the assembled worshippers. The creek gurgles away nearby, filled with worshippers offering thanks to their ancestors. So do we wade into the water and give praise to your ancestors, go to 44, or make your way back to camp? Yeah, I feel like in this moment she is very spiritual, and this is an important battle, and she wants to give herself as much like good karma, to use something that's like more modern, to help with this battle. So we'll go to 44. You step past the shrines and move towards the water. Crude clay and terracotta statues of people have been placed on the banks. You step into the shallows and kneel. As you splash water across your face, you take the time to think of those who came before you, your all-important ancestors, those who defined your birth and inspired the struggles and boons you inherited. To some extent, you share these ancestors with all of those around you. Even those who are not linked to you by blood have shown honor to your heritage by standing alongside the forces of Sartar this day. So just who are your ancestors? You are Elanthe. Your people came to Sartar and Dragon Pass many years ago from Hwartland. Since settling here, Jesus, you have fought off pursuers from the old country, raiders from the east, and lunar occupiers. Yours is a heritage of fighting for freedom. Though others may call you barbarians, you know in truth that you are the loyal and passionate servants of Orlanth. But what of your more recent ancestors? This is the real reason I came. Your father Farnon was a great warrior. He was a champion of Starbrow's rebellion, and he fought bravely in the name of Orlanth. Your mother, a farmer, tended a large farm in Dragon Pass. Each year you would watch your father leave and wait anxiously for his return while you helped your mother tend to the crops. One year, he did not come home. You would come to learn that he had been slain by the Lunar Empire. This tragedy he made all the worse when you discovered that he had been consumed by the Crimson Bat. His very soul was destroyed by that terrible lunar living weapon. You were devastated, but above all you were angry. You left your mother's farm behind, despite her protests, to join the fight against the Lunar Empire. Today you will honor your father's memory, your mother's suffering, and the history of all of your ancestors. As you consider those who came before you in the battles and legacy that led you here this day, you feel a sense of peace come over you. Although your ancestors do not grant you magical protection in combat the way the gods do, their presence is a significant cultural importance. You feel a sense of pride and strength. To offer worship, 45. To learn more about the Crimson Bat, 46. We'll do worship. You stand by in contemplation. It is not long before the memories of your ancestors turn to voices in your head. Take a deep breath and feel the heritage and legacy of your people wash over you. 1,000 voices echo through your mind. In particular, though, your father's is missing, but your other ancestors comfort you in his stead. When you finally open your eyes, you can feel endless generations of those before you watching through them. You spend a moment in the river, enjoying the sensation, then step back. You will honor your forebears this day. 48. It is time to go. As you slip through the crowds of worshippers, you hear a soft word spoken to you. You glance up and spot a high priestess of Ronalda, the goddess of earth and fertility, nodding at you in approval. She clearly respects your piety and your connection to the gods. You smile back, then continue on your way. You leave the gathered worshippers and make your way back towards the center of the Sartarite camp. 32. The Sartarite camp stretches out before you. You still have some time before the battle begins. So we can make a note of this entry once you have attempted 2 of the options below. Okay, so pay your respects to your ancestors and the gods, which I did do. Meet with the leader, tend to your bison, ford the river and scout the enemy camp, or you can leave early. So I'm torn between meeting with the leader or meeting with the bison and fellow warriors. Our character is pretty charismatic. Does she have a reason to choose one over the other? Yeah, I could really see this going either way. I really can. I think because of her charisma and her ability to shape the way of things in battle herself, I think she's going to tend to her bison mount and meet with her fellow warriors, which is 15. You decide to tend to your own affairs and cross the camp towards the makeshift animal pens. As you approach, the howls, whinnies, and smells of a dozen different species greet you. There are many beast riders within the Sartarite army, and only some of them ride horses. Bison, llama, zebra, and all manner of animal are ridden throughout Glorantha. Some cultures, including the most skilled riders of all, the Praxian nomads, treat any rider that uses a horse as a mount as polluted. Instead, they ride rhinoceroses, unicorns, impalas, and many other types of beasts. Praxian tribes often name themselves after the creatures they ride. The Bison riders, one of the most powerful tribes, have sent troops to fight alongside Kalir. Your bison is being kept with their beasts. His name is Molan. He has been with you for many years. He has protected you in battle, in the wilds, and provided comfort through your life. He grumbles to you as you approach. It is good to see a friend amongst the turmoil. Go to 16. Molan chews happily at straw and leans into you as you brush his thick, matted fur. Once you finish tugging the knots free, you procure a small bowl of mashed pigments and paint runes across his side. A bison of unusual motion, Molan shares your affinity for the movement rune, and you join it in flowing patterns with earth and death. Your meditative motions are broken by the crash of splintering wood and a loud peal of laughter. A pair of warriors are leaning against the edge of a nearby pen, laughing at their companion who has collapsed through the gate and into the muck inside. The trio are visibly drunk, and although the two still standing have the intelligence to quickly stifle their laughter, the collapsed warrior continues to giggle and fixes you with an incredulous stare. Glanthan runes are mystic archetypes that dominate the world's symbology. For a detailed description of the runes, yep, we kind of have a solid understanding of that, but it's in the rules. Go to 17. The two warriors still standing slam their closed fists against their chests, a mark of respect. The collapsed drunk flicks mud at you before writhing about in fits of laughter. Warriors like this threaten the discipline and morale of the army. To quell these warriors, make an intimidate roll. If you roll equal to or under 25%, you succeed. Go to 18. If you fail, go to 19. Alright, so I don't know if this is really a good time to get fancy, but 25 is pretty low. That is a pretty low chance, and I did see that there are rules for like supporting a roll. So my thought process here is there something that I can do that would help boost this roll? I think it would be cool to use a passion. And I mean, this is, I'm torn between the hate for the Lunar Empire or honor. So like, how unhinged does she want to be in this instance? I think she kind of wants to lean more towards honor because she does want them to kind of like be on her side. She doesn't want them to like take this negative energy into the battle. So I'm gonna say we will do honor. So this is 70%. That is a 57. So a 57, now I just have to verify on those rules for the support. Got the book of rules here. They don't call it, I think it's like inspiration or something like that. Augmenting, is that it? Venture's ability skills may be combined to augment one another. We add a percentage, we know it's at least a success. This is a 57. We do have our table here. Got all of the references in the world. So it was a 75 chance. And yeah, I don't even know why I looked at this. This isn't even close to being a critical or a special or anything like that. So it is a success. So add 20% to the desired ability. Make an experience check for the augmenting ability. Cool. I actually forgot about the experience piece. So honor. We'll go ahead and mark experience there. So I think we said 20%. So intimidate is, we're looking for a 45 now. 56. Did not matter. Did not matter. All right, so if you succeed, go to 18. If you fail, go to 19. If Bison ignores them and focuses on Molan, which maybe I should have done, but I didn't, so we fail. You bark a command to the man on the ground, but he giggles in response and sprays you with mud again. As his two companions pull him to his feet, he flicks a rude gesture towards you and stumbles to the gate, drinking from his wineskin. The trio leave, and you return to caring for Mullen. You only hope that they are not at your side during the coming battle. Fools will undoubtedly get somebody killed when the battle begins. Modify the BRT by -2. That makes me feel like I should be keeping track of this. All right, go to 32. All right, I see what is happening here, I think we're going to make a lot of choose your own adventure style decisions that are going to lead to, I feel like Dragon Age and some video games have done this, where like everything you do will potentially affect the outcome of the battle. All right, 32. So make a note of this entry. Once you have attempted 2 of the options below, go to 50. So we have done that. Off to 50. Beautiful rays of golden light pierce the fog as the sun rises. The atmosphere in the camp changes from tense anticipation to frantic action. Suddenly you're caught in the whirlwind of activity. Grab your equipment, check your armor, string your bow. It's time to move. You join the ranks of warriors pushing forward towards the banks of Danger Isle. Sartrite warriors mill restlessly. The small island is packed with bodies. You shove your way through the crowd and get to the edge of the water. On the opposite bank, the lunar soldiers are forming into lines. They'll be coming soon. You have just enough time to position yourself and knock an arrow. Orders are being barked around you. The Sartrite line begins to slowly form up. You add your voice to the cries, rallying the troops. The battle begins. Make a battle roll to position Vasana and her warriors. If you roll equal to or under 65, increase the BRT by +5 and check the small box next to the battle skill. All right, battle, which is in fact a 65. Let's go battle. 55, all right. So we succeeded and we get to check battle. The reason why we're checking these, this is somewhat similar to Dragonbane, but just on a bigger scale, because the D100, when we get to like Rest or Camp or something, we do a similar roll where I believe we're doing over, we try to roll over and we use the these modifiers here, the +5 or the +10, and then if it's over, then it goes up by like a percentage. You can do like +3% or +D6%, so there's like a risk there. So we made our battle roll, and +5, baby. Check the small, yep, we did that. Go to 52. War horns sound on both sides. Sartorite and lunar troops alike pull upon their bowstrings and raise their javelins. As is tradition throughout Glorantha, battle begins with an exchange of ranged weapons, attacks, and magic. Sometimes these minor exchanges are terrifying enough to end the battles early and avoid additional loss of life. Unfortunately, the stakes are too high on both sides. Today, the battle will go much further. This skirmish will only whittle down each side. Your task is to remain in the skirmish as long as possible, firing missiles towards the marching lunar infantry. Once they have advanced into the water, you will break away from the lines to find Mullen, your Bison, and join the charge. Go to 53. The lunar infantry marches. You stand in line with your fellow warriors. Their presence comforts you. You draw your strength from your faith in their ability to fight beside you. Today, the Sartorites push back against the Lunar Empire. Today, your loyalty will be tested. Today, you will win. In Runequest, heroes define themselves through their passions, which reflect their relationship with the world and the factions within it, such as their tribe, family, and friends. Passions can also be used to fuel action. I think that's kind of, I kind of jumped into this a little before. If you wish, Vasana may draw inspiration from her loyalty to Sartar passion to augment one of her skills for the skirmish. Choose a single skill to augment. The inspiration will last for this full scene, so while you may choose any skill, her composite bow skill will be the most useful. Attempt a loyalty Sartar roll. If you are successful, go to 54. We will do that, and it is 70%. I'm not going to bother checking because they've been right this entire time so far. 23, is that crit? Probably not. No, crits are they're like single digits. Crits and the specials. So yeah, 23, we are successful with our passion here. So we get to mark that loyalty to Sartar. And we are doing what they said, which is marking the composite bow. If you are successful, go to 54. If you fail, go to 55. If you choose not to attempt, 57. All right, 54 it is. Sartarite commanders dash back and forth behind the lines of archers, bellowing orders. Hundreds of arrows are drawn from their quivers in concert. Yours is one of them. You heave back your bowstring in time with your allies. Let the enemy come. You have every faith in your friends and in your leaders. Sartar has long awaited for this day. Your faith is in your brethren, and their power is yours. If you rolled a 70% or under, you achieved a normal success and may increase Vasana's chosen ability by 20% for the battle's duration. Whew. Alright, so we did that thing. The scenario will alert you when Vasana's passion fades. Go to 57. So yeah, this is just letting us know that what we did, which we kind of already figured out. We just got to remember that we have that plus 20% to bow. 57. The lunar horns sound a final time and the infantry begins striding forward. Their ordered march quickly turns into a graceless wait as they reach the knee-high water. Arrows and magical spells fly around you. The mass of shields and bodies absorbs the missiles one by one. The lunar line is over 100 meters away. It's a difficult shot. You raise your bow and draw the string, feeling your back muscles strain. After a beat, you loose the arrow, which silently flies through the air, twisting in the wind. Due to the increased range, we're going to half Vasana's composite score after adjusting for the inspiration. So her composite bow skill, which is here, so it's 45. We're adding an additional 20%, so that's 65. 65 in half, I believe rounded up, is going to be 33. That's not good. That is not good. Let's roll. And then this is probably where we'll end the video. That is a fail, as we expected. All right, so that will bring us to 58. And yeah, I don't really know how long this will be, but I think that was enough, enough for one video anyways. Let me know your thoughts so far. This is definitely choose your own adventure kind of, I feel like if I didn't read it, you would lose, like then I would just be summarizing it. I don't know. I'm not sure what the best way to do that is. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Runequest, Solo Quest, the starter set. I want to know your thoughts. And this choose your own adventure and even like how I am displaying it to you. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do the things if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one as we continue to explore the sacred art of gaming together.